I'm gonna start mine at the end of Up, after we've watched it. After Mitsumi left, we had this little freeze period where we weren't doing anything except being at Fashion Mall, just sitting there, and then he says, "Do you want to walk home or do you want to walk?" And I'm like, "What time is it? It's like 10 or something like that." I'm like, "We're not gonna go home at 10. We walk and we do shit." So we get up, we start walking away, and we're kind of talking about how good Up was and shit, because it was a good movie, and if I were you, I'd go watch it. It was fun. I mean, it was fun. It was a good movie. You know, I hid under your porch because I love you. We're walking, and I've never had the desire to eat something so badly in my life. I'm checking my pockets. I brought $30 maybe. How much do I have now? I had 11, and I see a Denny's, and I'm like, it's a Denny's, and Denny's has food, right? I look so dark in this. Oh well. We walk to Denny's. We get there, and then Audie is like, oh, do you want to go to Denny's where you might not have enough money, or do you want to go to this little convenience store right next to Denny's and get a lot for your money? And I'm like, the convenience store sounds like a smarter idea, but I'm sure Denny's would have more quality food. But I wasn't in any position to talk. I didn't have a lot of money. We walk into the convenience store, and he buys some Monster, some shit. I don't know what he bought. Dr. Pepper, a Dr. Pepper can. I bought a whole shitload of food, put it in a baggie, and out of nowhere, the store clerk just looks at me and says, "You need a beret in your hair." She's like this Mexican lady. I turn around. I'm like, "You talking to me?" But I say this under my breath. Otherwise, it would sound intimidating, even though it's coming from me. I get that. And she gets into this discussion about her son. I don't give a shit. I'm trying to buy Reese's cups and Chester fries. I don't give a shit about her life. If she's watching this, no offense. I just didn't care. But she finishes talking and tells me to be safe. We walk more, and I'm like munching on all my food. I never ate my Chester fries because I finished my drink too early. I bought a Dr. Pepper too. So we're walking, and it gets to the point where I have no idea where we're going, but he does. And in those moments, I tend not to question where we're going, and I just go with it. So we're walking, and then it gets to the climax of that night. We walk into apartments of some sort, homes. And as we walk further in here, I see a bunny. And the sheer sight of this bunny kind of stops me in awe, and I'm just staring at it, and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I need to take a picture of this bunny." So I take out my phone, I'm trying to get ready to take the picture, and I put it on flash, and I change and adjust everything, and I take the picture, and I get shit. I get like a black screen and like two fucking ears. And I'm like, "You fucking bunny, get in the frame." And I'm chasing this thing. And then he's like, "Oh, look, it's like a little park. We should sit in it." I'm like, "Sure." We sit in the park. We talk about stuff that's going on with us. And I get this urge to pee. And I'm like, "You stay right here." And I take out all my things from my pockets, my iPod and things like that. I'm like, "You stay right here. You can listen to my music. Just don't watch me pee." Naturally, he's like, "No shit, but whatever." Walk, and I do pee, and I try to pee where there's a view, so I can see stuff. I sit back down and pull up I do everything. I sit back down, and I see a cop car slowly driving around the park. And Audie's like, "Oh shit, there's a cop there. Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "What are we scared of? We're not doing anything wrong." I did not know there was a curfew. I did not know we were in a military house. Anyways, I was like, "No, he's gonna leave us." He drives away, turns back around, and pulls up in front of the park. And over the static radio thingy, we hear, "Yeah, they have long hair." And I'm like, "Shit, that is definitely us." He pulls us up, and does the usual cop routine, doing drugs, your age, and he calls home, which is just bullshit because he was supposed to call both of our parents. He only called mine, telling us, "Do you know where your son is?" and blah blah blah. Tells us, "You guys are military housing. You're trespassing. Get your asses back home." He didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing. We start walking home. We get to Mesa College Drive, about 5-10 minutes away from my home. We see another cop. This one pulls up. "Do you guys have any idea what time it is right now?" And I'm like, well, no shit. It was about 1, 2 a.m. We tell him that. He asks us for our age. 15. He says, "You know there's a curfew, right?" And I'm like, there's a fucking curfew? I had no idea. I really didn't. Audie did. I had no idea. Anyways, he starts to search us, right? This is the part where the fucking, like, your first moment being caught by the cops should be, if it ever happens, something cool, something, that makes people be like, "Oh, dude, that sucks." But he checks Audie first and pulls out our ticket for up. And the moment he does that, I'm like, this is gonna suck so much, dude. He pulls out the ticket and starts laughing about it. And he's like, "You guys aren't hardcore at all, are you? You guys went to see a Disney movie and you're walking out at this fucking time at night?" And I'm like, shit, dude, just shut the fuck up. I get it. Walks over to me, checks my pockets. He pulls out my Game Boy with Pokemon Yellow in it. And he's like, "Oh, look, it's your Pokemans." And I swear I wanted to punch him in the face and be like, "It's Pokemon!" That'd be stupid. Aggravating him. Pulls out my iPod. "Oh, what you got in here? Hannah Montana?" I'm like, fuck you. Just fuck you. He does the usual routine. He asks us for all this shit, and then he drives us home, tells us we have a citation. All this shit. Alright? That's that night. Now let's look at yesterday. And yesterday, I get a text from Audie saying that he's bored or some shit, that he wants to walk again. And I just woke up. I start putting on like my clothes and I'm getting prepared for shit. And I'm talking with my friend and she tells me not to go out. And I'm like, I'm not afraid of getting caught. It's not gonna happen tonight. We're too smart for that, right? I remember walking and seeing, after about an hour or two walking, when it's about past curfew, thinking to myself, I've never been this nervous or scared of meeting a cop in my entire life, and it just seems like there's a lot more of them now than there was before. Maybe it's because we're noticing them. So our first encounter with cops, they kind of slow down and pass in front of us. And I'm looking at them, and I'm staring at them, and I stare them down, and I give them like a nod, like, "What's up?" But I didn't say anything. And I swear that made them leave. Because they just left. And the minute they left, I was like, holy shit, dude. We just evaded the cops. We keep walking, and I see a cop car, and I'm like, oh shit. And Audie's like, what? I'm like, cop car. So he's like, okay. And we take a left. We walk further on, about 2 hours maybe. It's 11 or 12. About 11. Same cops from the first time stop us again. And it happens all over again. And I swear this guy, whoever was checking us, he is way too frisky with his hands. He was feeling me up, I swear. I thought he wanted to rape me or some shit. And, like, his hand on my boob. And then he kind of got too close to my crotch. He manhandled my ass. And I remember him trying to pull out my iPod, and he's like, "What's in here?" I'm like, "My iPod," and he just lets it go. I'm like, "You can't do it, you bitch. You fucking suck." And they let us go, because we're like 8 minutes away from our house. They let us go, and that was pretty chill. But it's like it didn't make any sense. We've walked before, and oh my god.